Morning everybody, my name is Emma. It is day 53 of the Teen Yoga Foundation Zen Challenge and I'm leading you through your practice this morning. So it's quite an interesting week this week because things are starting to lift and change around us. We've been given go-ahead to meet up with 6 people from different households, and that's really quite different. For some of you, some schools are looking at slowly reopening in a time frame that suits them, and that will impact some of you it won't impact, and there's all kind of feelings and emotions around that about how you fit into the bigger picture at the moment, and we're all feeling that. So it's perfectly normal today if you're checking in, just feeling a bit thinking about how this next little period of time is going to affect you. So pausing just to sit in that reflection of how you are and how you're navigating this next little bit, and just pausing to reflect, to think about how can your yoga practice this morning help you with that. This is a rainbow that I drew this morning and coloured in with my felt tips. Everything's blowing around a bit, so and this is a symbol that we've seen so much, and it has been very representative of our key workers and lots of people who've been working very hard behind the scenes to make sure we all have been safe and well, and in the eventuality that we weren't, that they were best equipped to help us. So it's been lovely to see these in windows, to see them drawn on pavements, and for it to be a sign of unity and standing together. And I think for me what's quite important as we transition through this next stage is we take some of those lessons forward with us, or we reflect and think, how can we take some of those lessons forward with us? And so just looking at that rainbow now, if you imagine, for those of you who've done athletics at school or you're aware of athletics, for me this looks a bit like a half athletics track with 7 lanes, and each of us have been very much in our individual lanes and navigating this in a way that's been suitable for us, has probably been guided by our family situations, as well as obviously support from other people, but it has been distant support for most of us. So as we come out of this, it's also that reflection of remembering that everybody has been in their lane and everybody has got a slightly different story, a slightly different experience of what has been. And so as we walk forward, to remember this rainbow as a sign of unity and connection, and to be kind to each other and not judge each other, because what is right for one person won't be right for another, and you might have all different types of feelings that even you didn't realise that you were going to experience. So this rainbow today is simply about being kind and spreading that kindness. It's also about finding space within your yoga practice. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to flow and feel and just creates a little bit of space within our bodies, and space to feel what we feel. So that's the intention. We're going to start then with a breath that I want to just do quickly now so that you can take it forward into your practice. Okay, so before we close our eyes to begin, I'm just going to explain what we're going to do. So with this idea of the rainbow, you can keep looking at this if you want, or you can close your eyes and just picture that rainbow in your head. But we're going to inhale and we're going to trace our way up with the in-breath to the top of the arc, and then with the exhale we're going to release that breath and it's going to go down the other side of the arc. We'll then almost imagine that we change lanes, so you're going to go from the red to the orange lane, and then again you'll inhale up from the other side to the top of the arc, and then you're going to exhale down the other side, then we change lanes. So hopefully that makes sense. It's up to you. You can either inhale and exhale through your nose, that's what I would choose to do personally, but also if you feel that you've got a bit to let go of, you can inhale through your nose and you can exhale through your mouth. Okay, so what's right for one person is going to be slightly different to another person, and you can experiment and play with that as we do it. Okay, so if it feels good, then I invite you to close your eyes. Whenever I think about breathing, I always close my eyes. It just feels good. So picturing that rainbow in your head, we're just going to do a simple in-breath together to prepare, and an exhale breath together to prepare. Starting at the bottom of the red lane, then you're going to inhale to find the top of the arc, and then exhale down the other side. Changing lanes, finding the orange colour, inhaling all the way up. Find the top of the arc, and then exhale all the way down. Pausing, changing lanes, inhaling that yellow colour. Find the top of the arc, and then exhale down the other side. Changing colours, finding that green colour, inhaling that green colour. Find the top of the arc, and then exhale all the way out. Changing lanes, finding that nice bright blue colour, inhaling. Find the top of the arc, and then exhale all the way out. Changing lanes to that indigo blue colour, inhaling all the way up. Find the top of the arc, and then exhale out. Changing lanes, finding that purpley violet colour, inhaling in. Top of the arc, and then exhaling out. Sitting with that image of the rainbow. Your breath just naturally now in and out. Before fluttering your eyes open. So that was just a very quick introduction to this breath. We might do it again at the end of our practice in a really nice slow way. But just when we get those moments of pausing, maybe think back to this rainbow, picture it, and help it to find your breath, okay? And also whenever you see these about, just a reminder just to breathe. Breathing is so important, and it can really help us manage ourselves. Okay, so we're going to just invite some movement into our body. In the back of our heads, we're thinking a little bit about that idea of a rainbow, and possibly just recognizing that arc shape in some of the movements that we're doing, and a way of just finding our way through that rainbow, possibly reflecting a little bit. So almost that made me want to move back. What has this time taught us, and what can we take from this time to move forward? So actually maybe that's the first movement we're going to find. So your hands on your knees, and that also acts as a bit of a lever. So your shoulders come round, your heart space goes back, and it's like, what have I learned from this time? And then just bringing your heart forward, taking some of those lessons now into what comes next. And just even closing your eyes if that feels good, but just a rock forwards and backwards, just starting to invite some movement into your body. Okay, sitting up nice and straight. This time then, so the car going fast, you're going to drop your chin all the way down to your chest. And then from here, it's like your chin is tracing that rainbow, so your chin is lifting all the way up. And then your head is dropping back with support, opening up your throat. You can even lean back here slightly if that feels good. Just make sure you're engaging your muscles. And then you're going to come all the way back down again. Chin comes to chest. Do that one more time. Drifting up. Eyes come up. And letting yourself rock back slightly. Coming back. This time you're going to drop then your left ear to your left shoulder. That might mean your right shoulder comes up slightly, that's fine. And then it's like the top of your head is almost tracing that rainbow. It's going to come all the way through the midpoint, and you're just going to allow it to drop to the other side, and this shoulder might come up. Your head feels quite heavy here, so it's supported, but it's also heavy. I'm just going to come up and round one more time. Perfect. Possibly looking over one shoulder, coming through the midpoint, looking over the other shoulder. And we're just gradually waking up the body. Some circles here then with your shoulders, so nice big rounded circles. It's like a little bit like the world's waking up again. And then forwards. Oh, I'm trapped in my own jumper. Okay, from here then, we're going to inhale our arms all the way up and then twist your palms so they're together. Exhale all the way down. Okay, so imagine almost like you've got paintbrush in your hand and your palms turn up and it's like you're at the bottom or the beginning and the end of the rainbow. Your hands come all the way up. They meet, twist, and then push down. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Let's add the breath. So inhaling all the way up. Twist, exhale, and one more time. Inhaling all the way up. Twist and exhale. From there then you're going to bring your right hand across onto your left knee. Your left hand just drops behind you. You're going to lift all the way up, so pulling up in that position. And from here, your right hand is going to lead, your right hand's coming over, followed by your left hand, and you're just coming to the other side. And then make sure you reach up. And if you can, see if there's any more twist available. Or lifting your arms up, sitting up nice and straight, and twisting in. And we're going to do that one more time, lifting your arms up. Perfect. From here, just come to a nice central position. You're going to lift your right hand all the way up. Okay, from here, you're just going to then soften, so you're coming over to your left hand side. Check in with your shoulders. So my shoulders would come up. Have your shoulders come up. Just allow them to come down. If it feels good, you can look up. That's totally preference. And you're feeling all into this space on your side body. Okay, and then you're going to change to the other side. Reach up before folding over. Check in with your shoulders. Do you need to pull them down? Look up if it feels good. Coming up. Last time over then, so reaching up before folding. And then one last time. Okay, lovely. Okay, from here then, what you're going to do is you're going to have your hands out to the side. I just want you to move from side to side. So again, feeling just into that space in the side body and that expansion from hand to hand. Okay, then just see, can you just isolate your ribs so it's less of a reach, it's just your ribs moving. And then I want you to have one palm up, one palm down, it doesn't matter which one, but basically they're moving. So I don't know if you should do the hands first, so they twist, so that even though both palms are up, you've got one hand that's just stretched and the other hand that's turning round on itself. I'm not really sure how to explain that, so maybe just copy it. And then we're going to add more reach with that. It should feel quite nice into your side body. Nice. Okay, from here then what we're going to do is we're going to come off, well, I was on a block, you might have just been sat down. You're going to twist yourself around, hands come in front of you, and you're just going to lower yourself down onto your back. When you get here, your knees are bent, your feet are fully on the floor, and just spend a second just really feeling your feet into the floor here. Okay, I've put my hands on my hips just to make sure they're fully located within my body, and I just want you to rock your pelvis forwards and then backwards. So when you rock your pelvis forwards, that arc, that natural arc that you feel in your back can presses down into the floor. And then when you rock the other way, that arc becomes more pronounced. So just have a little play with that in your own body, see how it feels. Great. From here, your palms are going to come down, and then you're going to take a slight bit of engagement through your legs, and so through your feet. So just feel what that feels like, to push your feet away from the floor, or push them into the floor really, and then just lift your hips up just very slightly. Okay, so your lower back comes off the floor. It's a very small lift. You really just lifted your bottom up really, and then just lower again. We're going to do that again. You're going to come up a little bit higher. So engage, come up a little bit higher, and then come down. And then you're going to engage and come up a bit higher again. Perfect. So from here then we're actually going to come into our full bridge position. So exactly the same thing, your pelvis tilts to allow your back to flatten. Your hips then lift up, so imagine that you've got two bits of string lifting your hips up. That's then going to keep lifting up, that makes you come onto the top of your back, and just keep your head still within this. Check in with your feet. Are your feet pushing into the ground? And there should be a level of engagement through your legs. Perfect. You're going to come down again. And then you're going to allow yourself to come up again. Hold. And I just want you to experiment, feel into your body a bit. So I've just lifted my left heel off the ground. I need to make sure everything else is really stable, because that's going to allow me to lift that foot off the ground. Now I've put it in a bent leg position at the moment, but from bent leg you can also extend up. Bearing in mind we've not fully warmed up our hamstrings yet, but maybe just point your toe and flex your toe. Bend your knee in and lower. Just see how that feels. Find that evenness between both feet. How does that compare to the other side? Okay, so bringing your knee in, you're now supporting yourself on one foot. Extend that leg up. Maybe flex your foot, point your foot, flex your foot, point your foot, knee bends, and then bring that leg down. Okay, find the top of your bridge again, and then simply just allow yourself to come down. Allow your legs to open up and just wiggle your hips possibly from side to side. Great. From here we're going to turn side on. So I'm turning so that I'm on my side. I've got my hands stretched out, and I'm just put my head on that arm like a pillow. Okay. From here I might want to bend my underneath leg just so it's supporting me a little bit more. My top leg is out straight. Okay. Just want to lift that foot, and we're just going to pulse that 5 times. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From there, you're going to keep your foot flexed, and then just imagine you're drawing a circle. And we can take a lot of lessons from a circle, really. A circle has no beginning and end. It's just kind of constantly going round and round. Perfect, maybe go the other way. Great, from here then you're going to bend your top leg up so it's on top of your other leg. You're then going to lift so there's space between your two knees here. You're going to bring that leg forward, and it's going to touch on the ground in front of you. You're then going to lift that leg up, and it's going to touch behind you. So it's a bit like, again, you're drawing that arc. You want to keep your top body nice and still. So it's going to come forward, touch, come back, touch, and you should feel all these deep 6 muscles activating and an element of heat being generated. Lost count how many we've done. We're going to do one more. Great. Perfect. And then just release there. You might want to wiggle your hips forward and backwards. Now you can just turn over to do the other side. I don't want to turn away from you, so I'm going to literally come up and sweep myself around. But you shouldn't need to do that. You should just be able to roll over. Okay, so finding that position on the floor. So this one's slightly different for me. Bend that bottom leg in. Find that foot so it follows your hip down, so there's space between the floor and you. And then we're going to pulse it. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Then we're going to find those circles. So it's like we're drawing circles on the wall behind you. So we've done 5 one way, let's just do 5 the other way. Okay, then bending that knee on top of your other knee. You want to lift to find space between your two knees. You're going to bring that leg over, a bit like you're tracing it in that rainbow. It's going to come the other side. And it's going to come over, touch, and then it's going to come the other side. Touch one last time, over, touch, other side, touch. And again, you should feel that activation in your hips. Okay, from there then, what we're going to do is we're just going to roll onto your belly. So wherever you are, find your way onto your belly. Okay, now your hands are going to be underneath you. And if you've done a bit of yoga before, we're finding cobra pose here. So you're going to push the tops of your feet into the mat. You're going to push your pelvis into the mat. So there's a level of engagement here through your bottom muscles. You then want your heart space to lead. You're going to inhale, bringing the top of your back up. Now check in. You should be able to lift your hands here. Great. And then just exhale, coming down. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come down. From here then we're going to just push back into child's pose. So I'm going to engage my hands, I'm pushing up, I find my knees, and I'm literally going to bring my knees wide, and I'm going to bring my hips back to find my heels, my hands are forward, and my forehead here finds the floor. Remember, this pose is always yours. Whenever you want to go to it, you don't have to have me directing you here. And you've also made a bit of a rainbow with your body. So feeling the tops of your toes on the mat, feeling your fingertips on the mat. And with that inhale, see if you can trace from your toes all the way to your fingertips, over your body, and then the exhale from your fingertips all the way back to your toes. And do that again, inhaling from your toes, over the top of your body to your fingertips, and then from your fingertips over the top of your body to your toes. Great. From here then I want you to find your fingertips on the mat, which means you activate your upper body. And then I just want you to imagine that you have dipped each of your fingers in a different coloured paint, and you're going to pull your fingers all the way back towards your knees. So your mat now has these really nice rainbow tracks either side of it. Sit up nice and straight here. Okay. From there then you're going to come forward and you're going to come into your hands and knee position. You're going to let your pelvis tilt back, which makes your back round, and you're going to look up into your cow position. From here your pelvis tilts, your tummy comes in, you push into your hands and you come into a cat. So we're finding different arcs in our back here. And then change, tuck in. So find our cat, we're going to do that one more time. So pelvis comes back, arching the back, head comes through to look forward, looking up, and then head drops in, pelvis tucks in, your eye gaze is looking towards your belly's tucking into your back. Great, and then just find a nice stable all four position. From here then, what I want you to do is tuck your toes. You're going to hover your knees up off the ground, and then you're going to imagine someone's behind you lifting up into your downward dog position. Taking a pause in downward dog. I've just got to take a layer off because I'm getting a bit warm. Okay, and so then just notice in your downward dog, let's just check in, and we're making that rainbow shape with our body. Okay, so again, feel your feet into the ground, push your heels towards the back of the mat. Maybe bend your knees slightly, lift your hips up. Your hands, you want to be like starfish. You almost want your elbows to come out and then tuck round, and your head just drops down to look between your knees. Again, I want you to think about this idea of being a rainbow. We're going to pause and find our breath. So from your heels, I want you to imagine that someone is, or you are drawing over the top. So comes up the back of your legs, over your hips, down your back, down your arms. Okay? So you're going to inhale that, maybe that red colour comes all the way out of the ground, through your heels, up the back of your legs, over the top of your hips, down your back, down your shoulders, down your arms, through your hands back into the ground. Okay, we're then going to change and find the orange colour that goes through your hands, comes up over your arms, comes up your back, finds the top of your hips, and then with the exhale comes all the way down. So that's an example of how we can find that rainbow breath in different positions that we're doing. For now though, just concentrate, just let go of the breath a bit. You can still use it if you want to. Just walk your feet up and down. Great. From here, you're going to come up to your very tippy toes and you're going to walk forwards. Okay? Everything just is a matter of little steps. You're going to find a forward fold here, dropping your head down. Maybe shaking no, nodding yes, feeling heavy. And then you're going to inhale up vertebrae by vertebrae to find your mountain pose. Okay, so with mountain pose, you don't have to have it as exaggerated as this, but you twist your palms forward and you want your legs to track down underneath your hips. Okay, from here then I want you to have your hands out in front of you, so like this, but they're flexed in front of you, and you're going to lift your 10 toes up. Now imagining that that is making almost like a rainbow shape, you're going to work from your outside toes, drop a toe down at a time to that midway point, then lift your thumbs up, then your next toe up, next toe up, next toe up, and then little toe. And we're doing our hands at the same time because it's really good for our brain, body, just helps us, okay? So do that a few times, toe talk, but also taking the opportunity to feel the ground. You can play, you can see, can you put your toes down, your big toe down, lift them up, can you put just your little toe down? Okay, and it's just mindful movement, and then just rock a little bit on your feet. Great, you're going to come to the top of your mat in your mountain pose. You're going to do a few sun salutations. Okay, so inhaling your arms all the way up, exhaling, folding forward at the hips, nice straight back, then naturally falling down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come up, find a nice flat back, straight back. Exhale, hands drop down. Inhaling your arms up high and wide, and then exhale, palms meet, they come to heart center here. We're going to do that again, inhaling your arms up, exhaling, folding forward at the hips, hips travel backwards, back stays straight, and then just curving your back to drop down. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, hands come down, stepping your right foot back. You're going to bring your knee down to the ground here, untuck your toes, inhale your arms all the way up. Can you find a slight back bend here, so just come slightly further back. Come back to that straight position. Hands come down, frame your front foot, tuck your back toe. Straighten that leg, step your front leg to meet your back leg in a high plank position. From here, drop your knees down. You're going to untuck your toes, drop your chin and your chest down. Okay, from here, push your toes down, top of your toes down, your pelvis down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, tuck your toes, coming back through a bent knee position to raise your hips nice and high to find downward facing dog. From here, extending your right foot up and high into the sky, stepping your right foot through and forward, dropping your back knee down, untucking your toes, inhaling your arms all the way up. Exhaling your hands down, stepping your back foot to meet your front foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, dropping down. Inhaling your arms up high and wide. Exhale, hands meet. Find your heart center here. Other side, inhaling your arms up. Exhaling, folding forward at the hips. Hips come back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, stepping your left foot back this time. Your left knee comes down. Untuck your toes, inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale, your hands come down. Tuck that toe, straighten your leg, step your front leg to meet your back leg, high plank. Okay, from here then, you can either lower down as we did before, so knees, chest, chin, or if you want to, you can just keep your elbows in, start bending them, engage your body, come down to your belly here. Untuck your toes, push your toes down, push your pelvis down. Inhale to baby cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, coming through a bent knee position. Hips come high. Great. Maybe bending your knees here slightly. Find that nice downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Step your left leg through and forward. Drop your back knee, untuck your toes. Inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale your hands down, stepping your back foot to meet your front foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, high and wide. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, gonna inhale your arms up. Exhale, folding forward at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down. This time we're just going to step back 1, 2 into your plank position. So step back 1, 2, high plank here. Again, you can do any variation we've done so far. If you want a little bit more, you're going to lower down and hover. Remember, you can drop your knees at any point as well. Lower down and hover, and then we're coming into something called up facing dog. So you're going to lower all the way down. I've not got enough room with a pot. Scoot your feet and push forward. Pull your shoulders back. From here, tuck your toes, push back into downward facing dog. Great. From here, I'm going to inhale my right leg up and high. I'm going to step my right leg through and forward. I'm bending, or I'm lowering my left foot down here. I'm coming up onto resting my hands on my front knee, or my front thigh, not my knee. And then I just want you to have a play with this back foot being lifted, and we're activating the hamstring here. So lifting that back foot up. Okay, now if it feels good, you can even look, can you hold on to that with your back, same hand, so left hand goes to left foot, pushing your heart forward. Gently lowering down, putting your hands down, maybe engaging that leg to lift the knee, stepping your front foot to your back foot. Okay, here you can take a vinyasa, or if you want to, just push back up to downward facing dog. From here, lifting your left foot up and high, stepping your left foot through and forward, dropping your back knee down, coming up so your hands rest on your thigh. Again, thinking and bringing our attention to our back foot here, untucking the toes, and then just engaging and lifting that heel towards your bottom. Now on this side, my mobility is slightly different due to an old injury. If it feels good, just hold on to that foot and find that kind of push and pull motion. Gently lowering down with more control than I just had. Hands come down, stepping your foot forward, foot back, sorry, to find a high plank. And from here, just lowering down in any way that feels good to your belly. So from your belly, you're just going to push your feet down, engage your hips. Your hands, which are by the side of you, you're just going to try and find in a bind position, which is where your hands are going in and grabbing each other. I want you to, grabbing, just like holding, push your knuckles away from your shoulders, which automatically creates a bit of a lift. Okay, it should feel quite comfortable. But I now want you to see, can you inhale and just find a slightly bigger lift? And then exhale back down again. Inhale, find a slightly bigger lift, and then exhale down. This time I want to see, can you push your feet? So push your feet, it's like someone's pulling your feet away from you. Okay, which naturally means mine have lifted in the air a bit. Okay, so imagine someone's pulling you and they lift away. I want to see, can you lift your feet up and then at the same time lift your upper body up? So we're kind of coming into this dish shape here. And then come down. We're going to do that one more time, lifting up and lowering down. And just undo that bind. You're going to bring your arms wide so you're like a goalpost, up onto your fingertips. And from here, let's just find a bit of softness within that movement. So inhaling up to where it feels good. There should be no ouch in your lower back here. And then coming all the way down again. Inhaling up. And coming back down again. Okay, from here, I want us to find our arms out to the side, and you're going to put your thumbs up in the air. I'm going to scoot back a bit so I've got enough space. Might need to do the same. From here, your hands are in front of you with your thumbs up. Your forehead is down. You're going to lift your arms up to hover. You're then going to bring your arms out wide. Once they get to that wide point, they then twist, and you're going to bring them behind you. So we're thinking about your shoulder mobility here. They then come back, they twist for thumbs up, and then come in front of you again. So they're coming back, twisting through thumbs down to thumbs up, finding each other at the back, and then doing that again. Okay, perfect. From here then, skating forward again, I want you just to think about your lower body in activation. So you've hovered our feet, but now I want you to see, can you lift one leg up and lower? Can you lift the other leg up and lower? And then what does it feel like engaging those legs? So my knees are hovering off the mat here because my legs are engaged. Lifting my feet off the floor, then bending them in. Hold, and then coming out of that movement. Okay, so we're going to slow that down even more. Engage, push your feet away, bend one knee, lower, bend the other knee, lower, but there's still an element of engagement, and then bend both knees, and then lower. And just wiggle your hips and just notice what's happening in your body. At this time then, what's going to happen? My hands are going to be in a cactus position. I'm going to inhale up. I'm then going to lift my feet away, bend my feet in, and then I'm going to invite one hand to come back and find one foot, and then, my mobility on that side, shouldn't look like that. Hopefully yours will look better. I've got my feet in my hands now. It's that idea of pushing and pulling, but not forgetting that engagement. So I'm looking forward, I push my feet away, which helps lift my chest up, but I'm also pulling my hands towards my feet. And this is bow pose, and you can have a little rock here, little play, and when it feels good, just come out of it.
You've created an upside down rainbow here. Remember,
An upside down rainbow is a smile, little reflection point for you. If you want to go into that again, if not, just push back to child's pose and we'll meet you there in a second. Okay, so again, activate the legs, bend them in, find your feet behind you. Feels good, feels secure, activate, push away. To bow pose. Okay, and then from there, we're just going to push back to child's pose. So hands, push, bring your knees wide, lower your head all the way down to the ground. We're going to gradually bring our practice down now. Maybe those hands in front of you, pull back again, thinking about those colours being drawn back in. Sink your hips to one side, bring your feet out in front of you. You're going to inhale your arms up and just exhale forward. Now you might want to bend the knees slightly here. It's the idea of just tucking yourself in. Just find your inhale and your exhale. We're gradually going to find our way down onto our back. So again, feet come in front of us, lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. Maybe taking this opportunity just to have a full body stretch on the floor and release. We'll come back there soon. You're going to bring your knees in, give yourself a big hug. Arms come to the side, however feels good. Dropping your knees to one side, looking over your other shoulder. Bringing your knees all the way in. And again, finding a gaze over your opposite shoulder. You're going to bring your knees back in. We're going to find a final bridge position. Now, if you have a block or something that can raise the ground up, I invite you in a moment. We're going to put that under our sacrum area, which is here. Okay, so knees on the floor. You're going to find that pelvic tilt forwards and backwards. You're then going to engage, pushing down on the ground to lift your pelvis up. This block is going to be slid underneath, or a book if you've got one. If you haven't, then just come up and just hold in a restful way. Okay? From here, it's a very slight, small, delicate arc. If it feels good, I invite you to lift your arms up over your head. If you haven't got enough space, like I haven't got quite enough space behind me, just cactus your arms. And then if it feels good, just extend one foot out and then the other foot out. We've got this really delicate, slight rainbow shape with your body. And with your eyes closed, I invite you to find that rainbow in your mind again. And then on the inhale, from your toes, maybe find the top of your heart space. Exhale all the way to the top of your fingers. Inhale from the top of your fingers, maybe between your chest and your belly button, and exhale all the way down.
invite you now to either stay in this position or find a resting pose that feels good for you, seated, lying on your belly, lying just on your back, maybe in a tucked fetal position. There's no wrong. And just focus on your breath, that rainbow breath, inhale and exhale for 7 breaths. So you're going to inhale, find the top of the arc, and then exhale. Inhaling, find the top of the arc, and exhale. Inhale, find the top of the arc, and exhale. 4 more. Inhale, find the top of the arc, and exhale. Inhale, find the top of the arc, and exhale. Inhale, find the top of the arc, and exhale. And then last one, without me speaking. Staying here or in that position of rest for as long as you need, or following me and my voice to come slowly into a seated position. So if you're on any kind of something, a rolled blanket, a book, whatever it might be, just engage and slowly allow yourself to come off that. You're going to come over to one side, find a tucked position, stay here for as long as you need to, before slowly making your way to a seated position, finding an element of comfort for what feels good for you. Maybe bringing your arms up above your head and exhaling. Maybe bringing your arm up and over, reaching to one side, before coming back and slowly just going to the other side. Finding your hands at your heart center. Taking this practice into your week, knowing that through simple side stretches and putting the picture of that rainbow in your mind, that actually you have a tool or 2 tools to really possibly shift how you're feeling in a positive way. Bringing your hands to your forehead, I wish you peace throughout your week. To your heart, may you continue to offer kindness to yourself and kindness to others. And the ground, just to notice always everything that we are grateful for. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing with me this morning. Your well-being tip and your challenge. Your well-being tip, I just invite you to create your own rainbow that's for you. So think maybe of a place that it would be useful for you to have one. So it could be you make a small one and you pop that in your wallet, or it could be you make a big one and you put that somewhere by your desk in your workspace. Possibly you have something that you take to school with you. You could even change a picture of a rainbow to your, somewhere on your phone, your screenshot or something, just so that you have that reminder with you, and it's a visual cue to tap into some of the stuff we did today. And then my challenge is for you to just share out this kindness and the idea that everyone is in their own lane right now, and to think about what you're reflecting back to people and the words that you're using, and the kindness that you're showing. So that is my challenge for you, just to possibly pause and as much as think about your own journey, like your own lane in that rainbow, think and consider other people's as well, which I'm sure you're all doing, but it's just an extra nudge to do that. Okay, have a brilliant week, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon.